There's one night I'll probably never forget. My car broke down, nothing dramatic, it just stopped working. So I had it towed to a repair shop. The mechanic took one look at it, then said, "It's going to be about $1,200. I remember standing there, pulling out my phone, opening my banking app, and seeing $340. That was everything I had, and in that moment I wasn't embarrassed. I was scared because I needed that car. Without it, I couldn't get to work, and without work, well, there was no paycheck. That night, I realized something. The problem wasn't how much money I made. The problem was I had no safety net, no backup plan, no financial cushion. I was one unexpected bill away from panic. Today, I want to tell you about one small habit that completely changed the way I think about money. It starts with just $500. I know that doesn't sound like much, but trust me, that little number gave me something I hadn't felt in years. Peace of mind. I didn't have much of a choice, so I put the repair bill on my credit card. I told myself, I'll pay it off next month. But then life happened. A visit to the dentist, a flat tire, a higher than usual utility bill. It always seemed to be something. Every time I finally caught up, another expense showed up. It felt like I was running on a treadmill, working hard, but never really moving forward. Looking back now, I wasn't saving money, I was just paying for yesterday. Month after month, I kept paying off old problems instead of preparing for new ones. And that cycle never seemed to end. A few weeks later, I was talking with a friend. He asked me a simple question. "Mike, how much money do you actually make?" I told him. Then he asked something I wasn't expecting. "So, where does it all go?" I just sat there. Honestly, I didn't have a good answer, because the truth was, I wasn't living a reckless life. I wasn't buying expensive watches. I wasn't taking luxury vacations. My paycheck just kept disappearing, little by little, month after month. So, one evening, I decided to figure it out. I went back through my credit card statements, 2 years' worth, and I started adding everything up. The interest, the late fees, the emergency expenses. When I saw the total, I just stared at the screen. That money could have been mine. Instead, I had paid it to the credit card company. And that's when it finally hit me. The real emergency wasn't the broken car, or the dentist bill, or the washing machine. The real emergency was living one surprise away and from financial panic. That realization changed everything. A few days later, I came across a short article. It said something so simple, I almost ignored it. It said, "You don't need a $10,000 emergency fund, you just need your first 500. I actually laughed. $500? Really? That didn't sound like enough to fix much of anything, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. That night, when my car broke down, I didn't need to solve every financial problem in my life. I just needed a little breathing room. $500, it wouldn't have fixed everything, but it would have stopped the panic. It would have given me time to think, to make better decisions instead of desperate ones. That's when I realized an emergency fund isn't really about money. It's about buying yourself a little peace of mind, and honestly, that's worth a lot more than $500. So, I made 3 small changes. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. The first one, I opened a separate savings account. Not for vacations, not for shopping, just for emergencies. I didn't want to see that money every day. I wanted it out of sight, but easy enough to reach, if life happened. The second thing I did was automate it. Every payday, a little money moved into that account. Sometimes it was $20, sometimes $50, some months even less. The amount didn't matter. The habit did. Because every single deposit was one small step towards sleeping a little better at night, and finally, I made one simple promise to myself. That money wasn't there for wants, it was there for emergencies. A new phone isn't an emergency. A big sale at the store isn't an emergency. A weekend trip isn't an emergency. But a broken car, that gets you to work, that's an emergency. A medical bill you didn't expect, that's an emergency. Once I made those rules, something changed. I stopped seeing that account as money I could spend. I started seeing it as peace of mind. About 4 months later, I reached my goal. $500, I'll be honest, and it didn't feel like much. But then, life tested me. My washing machine broke. The repair cost $280 a few years earlier. That would have gone straight onto my credit card, and I'd probably still be paying for it. This time, I opened that little emergency fund, paid the bill, closed the account, and that was it. No credit card, no interest, no stress. That night, I slept better than I had in a long time, not because I had more money, but because, for the first time, a surprise didn't become a crisis. That's the moment I realized. An emergency fund doesn't make life perfect. It just gives you room to handle life's imperfect moments. And honestly, that's a wonderful feeling. So, if you're waiting until you have thousands of dollars saved, don't. Start with your first 500. Maybe it takes you 2 months, maybe 6, maybe even a year. That's okay. The goal isn't to get there quickly. The goal is simply to begin. Because one day, something unexpected will happen. Your car, your home, a medical bill. Life has a funny way of surprising all of us. And when that day comes, your future self will be incredibly grateful that you started today. If this story reminded you of something you've been through, I'd really love to hear it. Tell me down in the comments, what was the last unexpected expense that caught you off guard? And if you enjoy simple stories about money, life, and building a little more peace of mind, I'd love to have you here. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.